keeping me safe and sound. And
so there are 9 uses. Besides what you listed here, the most of the people they know UCLA and UC Berkeley. And then UC Davis has become a lot more important and in a spotlight since the COVID came. It was already a good school, but people normally focused on the UCLA and UC Berkeley. Then UC Riverside and UC San Diego. There is also UC San Francisco, UC Santa Barbara, UC Merced. So there are multiple UCs, and all of them are good schools with a good professors. And except for UC Davis and UC Merced, all of them are in a West Coast along the coastline. So all the UCs have a beautiful geographical locations. But that also makes UCs a very expensive schools. As you know, the housing in California is very expensive. So when you look at UCs, when you apply, you don't only just look at the tuition for out of state, if you're out of state, but you also look at the cost of attendance, including what you can cover in the housing expenses. Another thing you probably heard in the news we had that there is not enough housing available. So even if you if you want to stay in the dorm, there's not enough dorm rooms available, but you can live outside the campus, and sometimes the apartments around the campus are not available. So people commute a lot. But I'm showing you the challenges, but these are a very good schools with a very good thing. So based upon what your interests are, like if you're interested in a core science majors, whether you are a pre-med student or you are a business student, you look at the UCs accordingly. So some of the UCs have medical school affiliated. So if you are in a pre-med route, you can go there. So the beautiful thing about the UCs is you can have one application which would cover all the UCs at the same time. UCSF is graduate school only; they don't have undergrad program. And but you can apply to all the UCs. You would have to put the reference, basically on what's your preference. Let's say UC Riverside is your first preference, then you say UC Berkeley, UC LA, UC San Diego. So UC San Diego has a very good marine program. So we talked about the pre-med, we talked about the marine. UC Berkeley is very well known for the core STEM projects. So if you want to go into pure science courses, you go to UC Berkeley. Another thing is economics. UC has one of the finest programs. And after undergrad, so when Joe was talking about going undecided, so you go into LAES route, economics is part of that route. So you go through that route and then you go to the Haas School of Business for your graduate. And that is very good program. Haas is very well known for the MBS. Then what else? UCs have a very specific requirements. Let me see. I am going to put a link in the chat. You can look this up online when you query the UCs. This talks about all the UCs. And if you go to UC Berkeley or UC LA side, they have what we call A to G. So it is very, very important to focus on those course requirements to get into UCs. You have to follow those A to G requirements in order to qualify for the UC. UC are not that difficult to get into from the out of state, even though 91% or higher is given to the in-state students. Especially this year, they passed a law in which we increased the enrollment, but the preference is given to California students. So you, the one way, if you're a California resident, then let's talk about, there are different ways of getting into UCs. So you go to a community college within the California, and then you can have a direct admission into the UCs. It's a guaranteed admission as long as you meet those requirements. Then we talked about CSU. CSU is California State University. So California State University, there are 23 campuses. So it is throughout the California, the CSUs are there. So California students apply to UCs and CSUs. CSUs are a lot easier to get into compared to UCs, which are more competitive. But depending upon the location and the programs, some CSUs are very focused, like for example, CSU in Monterey Bay has only 25 majors, but it's a wonderful location, very good courses that they offer. So if one of the majors that they are offering is what you're interested in, then CSU in Monterey Bay is a good option. You can actually see the whales and the dolphins right from the school. It's cold. Monterey Bay, like when people think of California, it's very warm. Monterey Bay can be very cold. It has only a few months of the summer, which are warmer. So you have to do your research. But it's a very beautiful campus. I really like it. Another one CSU of importance is the Chico, way up north in the California. It's a lot of the CSUs are in those kind of a rural area or mountainous area. That's, if you like those kind of a thing, then you should check out your CSU Chico. It is very good nursing program. So if you want to go into the nursing program, check out the CSU Chico State. That was at the high level. I didn't want it to go into A to G requirements because I think that needs a very focused discussion. We have to take A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all those requirements and look into it one-on-one. Or you can take a look at it, and if you have a question, you can ask. Anything else, Joe, you think I should cover?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Absolutely. The CSU, I wanted to ask you, the Pomona is good for neuroscience, right? Pomona or?
Yeah, right. And there are also, let me see.
Sure.
I had put my notes together. The Cal Poly is one of
Cal Poly, yeah. Cal Poly, is it part of the CSU application?
Yeah, and it is super, super competitive.
Yeah, it was like 25% acceptance rate or 30%, right? Cal Poly?
Right. Yeah, it's a very good school. A lot of people apply to UC San Diego. Those who wants to get into UCLA or UC Berkeley, you have more chances of getting into San Diego versus Berkeley or LA. Partially because those two schools have a lot more applications. So they're accordingly, they become more selective.
Got it.
But UC San Diego is also a very good option.
Got it. And Davis, UC Davis. Now there is no BSMD program for UCs, right?
No. So there is no formal UC BSMD program. But a lot of the schools, like let's pick at Davis, for example. So if you go to Davis, it has a huge research facility and all the stuff. Hospital is very well known. So your opportunities are higher. So your admission to get into medical school is higher.
Got it.
So that's how we look at it. But they do not have a direct admission to the MD program.
Got it. And also like the UC, CSU, you just need to apply one and you get into all the 20, or is it different, the CSU application?
I have to look at it. I
No problem.
didn't look into the application part.
Okay. And also, I wanted to ask you about Chico. Is Chico only good for nursing, or I think the medical pre-med track is also pretty good in Chico, right? What is your opinion?
I have heard mainly about nursing. I did not check into pre-med program.
Got it.
Like I know of a student who went there and I really liked the program.
Got it. And also, if it's specifically neuroscience or pre-med major for CSU, like which one would we pick? Because I have a California resident and she's very particular about staying within California for neuroscience and neuroscience specifically. So what would we pick?
She should try for, if she's a good student, she should try for UC first, and
No, she
also
has
then
a
try
lot of
for CSU.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Her grades aren't stellar, and she hasn't even taken her standardized test scores. Is it true
And she's
that
a junior?
yes.
Okay. Okay. But it is test optional, right?
Okay.
So you don't have to submit the score. If you have a very good student and you, more importantly, have a good story to share, if you have done anything in a social justice part, some of those carry a lot more weight.
Social justice, is it? Okay, got it. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. She does have an initiative for spreading neuroscience and all that stuff, right? But her grades aren't stellar, especially her pre-cal grades are in the C's. So
okay, there are ways you can make up those courses, right? Like you can go to one of those private institute, take that course over the summer, and it's a little expensive option, but when you do one-on-one coaching, you can get higher grade and you can submit that into transcript too.
Yeah, that's what she's trying to do, a summer course again in the community college, and she needs to submit her transcripts by August, right? So that is something that she's doing. We are looking at CSUs as well. So what would be good?
CSU she would have a higher chances of getting in.
Any specific CSU that we?
Nothing stands out. CSU is okay schools, but the main thing is environment. She needs to look at whether some of them are very rural and some of them are urbans. So take a look at it, what kind of campus and the lifestyle you want, and you pick your college accordingly, right?
Got it. Yes, that's wonderful, Yash. Now let's focus on the UC requirement. What stumps most of the non-California students is their visual arts requirement. You understand? So could you please explain about their A to G curriculum requirement for UCs?
It is that needs a lot more discussion, Joe.
Sure.
A to G requirements. I can, let me see. I have a link somewhere.
No problem. Just a quick.
Okay.
Use good.
Yeah, I think that is explained very well, if I remember right, in a UC Riverside site. All the requirements. And whenever you have a question on the arts requirements, you can always reach out to the counselor. I mean, that's what I had done for one of my students.
The school counselor.
School counselor. I mean, the college that, like UC Riverside, if you are applying at UC Riverside, reach out to UC Riverside counselor and ask whether these courses would qualify for the arts or not. You should, if you are considering UCs, I would say strongly look at it closely. That there are not that many out-of-state students apply at UCs, mainly because of the financial situation. It is ridiculously expensive for out-of-state. But if that is not an issue, then you should look at UCs. If you have the holistic picture, your GPA is pretty good, extracurricular activity is good, especially if you are big on to the climate change or a social justice and all, what California is very well known for, then you should look at the UCs. And if you have any question, you can reach out to Joe or myself, and I would be happy to help.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. So that is most of my students, they like the UCs, but the thing is the visual arts requirement like sort of stumps them, because non-California residents or non-California students, there's no requirement to do a visual arts mandatory, right? So that is what is, and they expect it to be like throughout the year or a 1-credit course, right? So I want to understand why I sort of didn't really appreciate, or I don't understand their insistence on visual arts.
Right. Partially because of it is very true, and there is a research behind this, that if art and those subjects or those fields touches your different part of the brain, so depending upon the you have main essay, and then you have the 4 prompts, and then you have one more deliverable.
Got it. And also the extracurricular activity description space is more than the Common App, right? In the Common App, you have only 150 characters. Here you have 350. So are you expected to write an extracurricular essay for every activity there?
I did for my students. We did.
Okay. Okay.
And in the whole thing about the application is them to get to know you. Okay. It's like why I want to go to UC and why you should UC, this particular UC with this major should pick me. So it's that kind of showing that fit is the critical part.
Got it. And also, like there, like in the Common App, you have 10 extracurricular activities, right? In UCs, there's no limit, right?
I normally never go beyond 8 to 10.
Okay, got it.
Because it's the number of extracurricular activities not necessarily make your profile stronger.
It's the quality, not the quantity.
Quality and the consistency, and it should align with your full story, right? What kind of a person you are, what you want to do, and that's why you did this. So what did that have an impact on you, or you made an impact on others? So that full story, along with extracurricular activities and your essay, tells the story.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, it makes complete sense. Yeah.
Right. And you've been talking about these things, right? We talked last week about the essays and all.
Yes.
So,
yes. Yeah. Essay was a very critical factor. I feel like it enhances your whole application 10x times. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Essay has become a differentiator. Anything you do, what is considered as you had money so you could do it, those things do not carry weight.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes it's frowned upon, especially with the elite schools, because it shows you are privileged.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. Internships also sort of kind of helps. Yeah, I've seen that internships as well. Right. And something that they like to see the real life experience in your profile. Like you,
as long as it's not paid.
No,
you don't pay the fees to enroll in the program.
Right, but internships are not supposed to be paid, right? You are sort of a temporary employee to somebody, right? Why would you pay for an internship?
Oh, there are a lot of internships people go for to have a name. Oh, I had an internship here.
But it's not an internship, it's a course, no? How can you call it an internship if got it? I am offering.
I have a question.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Amin.
So by paid internship, you don't mean like an internship where you are getting paid to do the internship. Like because I have a paid internship as a STEM instructor, so I teach coding.
That's a different thing, Amin. Right. Okay. So you what you are doing is you are providing a services. Here, you pay them to give you the internship. It sounds oxymoron, like Joe was saying, but people do that to have a big name behind them. So, Amil, in your case, if you're teaching a coding, the key thing would be to figure out what does that mean? How did this experience impact you? Did you make impact on any of the students? Why did you do that? And so what? So always ask anything you write, like I did this, I did this, I did this. So what? Why should I care? Why should you care? So that's when you can, and when you look at your overall profile, and then you say, oh, I have been always interested in the coding. I'm this kind of a person. I want to go into computer science. It's a holistic story. It tells you the story that actually all the pieces fall in with each other. If you said, I did this, I did this, I did this, even though they are very good things, but if they don't gel or make you or show you as a whole person, they doesn't carry weight. You can take a semester-long course in a community school, and that counts too.
Yeah.
Community school in your state. But you got to negotiate. I mean, you got to confirm. I always say, if you're going to try anything that is not on the requirements, I would confirm with a counselor to make sure that's going to count before I put effort and money in it, right?
Around me, keeping me safe and sound.